All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media with a second emergency Patriots Daily here on this Tuesday. The AFC East is running wild. A reminder, we're powered by PrizePicks and Game Time. We'll hear from them in a little while, but first, Taylor, let's react to it. Like I said, it's an arms race in the AFC East. Moments, hours, however long it was after Davante Adams gets traded to the Jets, the Browns send Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. So, Taylor, quick reaction. Patriots now have to do with Davante Adams in New York and Amari Cooper alongside Josh Allen with that Bills offense. Immediate reaction, how it impacts not only the Patriots, but the league at large. What do you make of this sudden wide receiver coup, if you will, in the AFC East?
I feel like we've been talking about how the AFC is just pretty much up for grabs. Now, you know, the Miami Dolphins did beat the Patriots with Tyler Huntley, but still, most teams like the Jets, like the Bills, probably aren't looking at Miami as much of a threat without Tua Tagovailoa. But now you have to take the Jets and Bills offenses much more seriously. Now, the Bills obviously win last night, but they did struggle the week before. And I think you've seen like Mac Hollins and Josh Allen. It feels like they've been trying to get that connection going, but it just hasn't been working. It feels like they're trying to use Keon Coleman as more of an X receiver, which we talked about before the draft. You can't do that with him. He needs to be someone where you basically just get him the best matchup to take advantage of his size and his ball skills. And Khalil Shakir has been really good in the slot. And then obviously Dalton Kincaid, the tight ends, those guys all chip in. But really, the Bills have been more of a middle-of-the-field type of offense. Now, with Amari Cooper, they actually have an outside threat. That true ISO guy where if Josh Allen gets a one-on-one, it makes the math much easier for him. And he says, I'm just going to target this guy down the sidelines, either deep, on slants, whatever. And it makes them a lot scarier. Now, I don't think, obviously, Stephon Diggs was that kind of receiver for them and did a great job during what was the prime partially of his career. But Amari Cooper gives you even more size. He gives you even more route running technique and discipline and those kinds of things. And I don't mean to poo-poo Diggs at all, because obviously he made things hard on Christian Gonzalez just last week. So he's still got a step, but I think Amari Cooper is in that similar category. So this is a huge get for the Bills offense. And now kind of like the Jets, where scary for the Jets because they have Garrett Wilson. Like I said, now he's going to be a number 2, although he's a number 1 on most other teams. The Bills don't really have that other true number 2 option, but now other guys can be in spots where they're probably better suited, where you can move Keon Coleman around the formation. You can use Khalil Shakir in the place where he's best. And Mac Hollins doesn't have to be one of your top receivers. So especially with Josh Allen, when you put him in the equation, really, the passing game is scary regardless, but now he's got his go-to guy again. So I don't like it. I don't like it very much. Gonzo's, once again, probably going to have to be on Amari Cooper. Now you're talking about maybe John Jones or Marcus Jones having to cover Keon Coleman. I like how those guys match up with Khalil Shakir, not so much with a guy who can just go above the rim and win consistently no matter how tightly he's covered. So another situation where this acquisition kind of tips the numbers against the Patriots' favor in terms of height and the size comps that they're probably going to have in these matchups.
For sure. It makes it a lot tougher for, again, a guy like Christian Gonzalez, who, he's been great, and he hasn't given us really much reason to doubt him, but he continues to go up against dominant receivers week in and week out. He'll now have 2 matchups against a guy in Amari Cooper because the Patriots have yet to play the Bills this season. And then he has to go up against Adams, obviously, in a couple weeks with the Jets. Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills for a 3rd round and a 7th round pick, and they send a 6th along with Cooper to make it happen. I want to get into that in a second, Taylor, because I want to get your reaction, or I guess your answer to if the Patriots should have done a move like this. But before we do that, quick word from our friends at PrizePicks and Game Time. Right now on PrizePicks, there is a new Anthony Edwards square for the start of the NBA season. If he gets 1 point, he gets you a win. So make sure you add that to your lineups for opening night on the PrizePicks app. We have PrizePicks for every Patriots game here on Patriots Daily, and we also have PrizePicks lineups through myself for every NFL primetime matchup. So go check it out if you are a fan of football and a fan of money. PrizePicks is the way to do it. So head over to PrizePicks. Use code CLNS for $50 instantly when you play just $5. PrizePicks, run your game. We're also powered by Game Time. As you know, Taylor, that's where we, if we're not recovering the game, we get our tickets to local games through the Game Time app. And right now, if you are heading over to London, you can get into Wembley Stadium for just as little as $112 right now on the Game Time app. So if you're going to head over there and you haven't got your tickets for the Patriots game yet, please do so through the Game Time app. Use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's $20 off your first purchase with the Game Time app using code CLNS. Terms apply. Taylor, what time is it?
Game time.
Let's go. Good answer. All right, back to it. Amari Cooper, like I said, goes to the Bills for a 2025 third-round pick, a 2026 seventh-round pick, and they send Cooper and a sixth to Buffalo. So if you were the Patriots, Taylor, would you have done this move? We talked about it with Davante Adams. We both kind of agreed no. He's an aging wide receiver. He's not under contract for long. He kind of is a temporary problem to a more long-term solution that the Patriots have at the wide receiver position. But this is one of the ones that I think I would have kicked the tires on anyway if I was New England. I feel like a third and a seventh isn't terrible for a veteran wide receiver in Cooper, who I don't know if he was as disgruntled as Cooper as Davante Adams was in Vegas, but he was seemingly ready to get out of there. And he's a guy who played well under Alex Van Pelt just a season ago in Cleveland. He's that true X receiver. He knows the system that Alex Van Pelt calls here. So while I kind of said it on the Adams front, if you bring him in, you get him comfortable with Drake May, and then Adams leaves and May kind of has to start over with another receiver again. At least a guy in Cooper is like not a product of the system necessarily, but knows it. And so he can help Drake May along. And then you bring somebody else in, and then you can kind of turn the tides and go that way. So I just think the price, I guess it was similar considering that they had to send a six with Cooper back. But I still think this is one I would have considered more so than Davante Adams. But what do you make of it? Do you think the Patriots should have potentially went after Amari Cooper here?
I think it would have made more sense because, like you mentioned, there is the connection there. But I still think this is a 30-year-old receiver. Yeah. As much as they can help the room, as much as maybe they help your chances of winning, and maybe he's even on the team for a couple of years. Those things are on the table. But I still don't know that I like the idea of trading a second-round pick when, for all we know, they could get a guy like Ted McMillan in the first round next year, get that true X receiver, and then in that second round, maybe you get yourself another offensive tackle so you have better depth there. So I, once again, think this is a team that needs to aim for the future, not aim for the next couple of seasons. If the wide receiver is not going to be around by the end of Mac Jones's rookie contract, I'm not that interested in him at this point.
Drake May's rookie contract. You're doing it again. You're calling Drake May Mac Jones.
Jeez. It's the Drake in the Met. It's like, oh my God.
They're too similar. They both wear number 10. I get it. I do it too.
Oh, it's the trauma. It's the trauma creeping up. But yeah, no. The bottom line is, I do think that this is just one the Patriots should probably avoid. You need to use those draft picks to make sure you can get yourself some more long-term answers. So again, it makes more sense than Davante Adams because of that familiarity, but still not where the Patriots are right now.
Yeah,
he's going to come here. I mean, he's going from a team that's probably not going to make the playoffs to a playoff contender with an established quarterback, just like the Jets, obviously in a worse spot, but they have the kind of roster where you feel like they legitimately could be potentially one piece away.
It's a good point. You mentioned it a lot. You mentioned it a ton when we talked about Adams' work. He does have leverage. He does have a say in where he wants to go. It's not like Cleveland could just send him wherever, because that gets into player relationships and agent relationships and things like that, where you're just sending guys off to wherever just because you want to get them off your books. And that's not gonna fly a lot of times in the NFL. So you mentioned it. He goes to a now potential Super Bowl contender in Buffalo, where did he really want to play with the Patriots anyway? Sure, he knows Alex Van Pelt, but he's also under contract through 2025. He wants to go to a place where he can win for the foreseeable future. And right now, that's not New England. So that's the reaction to it. Buffalo Bills obtaining wide receiver Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns today. The second major trade for a wide receiver in the AFC East on this Tuesday. We'll be back here on Patriots Press Pass, reacting to all of the rest of the news, not only around the Patriots, but the NFL as it relates to your New England team. So, Taylor, thanks for joining me for this quick hitter. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.